So I'm Dr. Petra, for those of you who don't know me, one of the co-spiritual directors, and we're doing something today that I've had the privilege of participating in a number of times. This is what's called a performed reading or scripted reading, rather than a full theatrical performance. We are going to perform this as a reading, and what we're reading is from The Voice Celestial. This is a 360-page epic poem that Ernest Holmes wrote with his brother Fenwicke Holmes. And, well, we will acknowledge that it's not Shakespeare. So, you know, we'll be gentle about our critique of the poetry. But The Voice Celestial is the one place in all of the Science of Mind writings by Ernest Holmes where he actually explores the journey. So much of our reading and our philosophy is based on affirming truth, claiming reality, and speaking that which we seek to experience. And often it's very declarative and very matter-of-fact. This is the truth of who we are. And yet, as each one of us knows, it's a journey, isn't it? It's a journey of awakening. It's a journey of understanding. And so this is the one place where Ernest Holmes really explores that experience. So I took the 360 pages and I excerpted out of it a thread so that we could experience it together. I trust that it will be recognizable to you, perhaps comforting to you. And if you like what you hear, which I really hope you do, I hope you'll read it for yourself. It's truly an experience. So I just invite you to go on the journey with us as we share in the Voice Celestial. He came at sunset to his home at last, unchained at night from the slavery to the day. He relaxed and in sweet content reviewed the day. For good outweighs the ill, and when tomorrow comes, it comes no doubt, he will arise and spin the wheel of fortune yet again.
I wonder if, when I'm dead, that I shall know that I am dead. Why am I here? And what am I? I heard, I think, or does it rise in me, that man is soul and lives the mortal span to save his soul by deeds and thoughts and prayer, to clothe himself in immortality. And had I a soul and knew I had a soul, I would gladly work to save the soul I had and all the other souls of overburdened men. But who is there to prove and justify a faith toward which I lean without hope? I crave to know the meaning of great words. I ask that life be defined, and what is love? Perchance I too can grasp a key that opens up the door and for myself unveil the mysteries. Or I may hear a voice beyond earth's hearing, or see a presence which shall reveal to me.
His mind was spinning like a whirling wheel that comes to rest by chance, yet never moves beyond its orbit to a higher plane. He seemed himself to be on the wheel, bound there by dread necessity and fate.
'Tis said that Jesus knew, and that the cord which binds the body to the soul remained unbroken, and that he rose and walked. I was not there. How then shall I know if this sweet tale be true? 'Tis sweet enough, I swear. I was not there. I want to know and know that I know.
He wondered why some took delight in fear or seemed complacent when they talked of hell, and on their soul declared there was no way by which the soul unshriven could escape eternal doom, nor pass into oblivion beyond Elysian fields. The farer stirred and shuddered on his bed.
I shall begin with life. Of this I am assured. I am alive. And what is it to be alive, save that I think?
He could not sleep, excited by the bigness of his quest, and more excited by the thought that he must hold within himself the answer.
If there be God, why, it is well. But I seek truth, and whether there be mind or no within the cosmic scheme. And should it be, then shall I further quest a way to speak, perhaps to hear, and should it speak to me, then gladly obey.
He fell into a state of wonderment, and every cell of him was shaken like aspen leaves that tremble in the night. Enthusiasm, that drunkenness of the gods which thrills the worshiper, thrilled him. He would himself launch out on such a quest, a farer going forth to find the truth.
My battle cry is truth. My banner shall be faith. But where shall I begin? Let me but posit this. All truths must fuse into one, for truth is one, and I shall find the truth.
But then he laughed. It was his saving grace. And that free laugh rolled like thunder all along the wall, seemed suddenly to leap through space and shake the trembling stars. The tensions of his thought were stilled, for he, at last, had set the goal. He knew what he would do. And as he mused, the primal light burned in the gloom, and through the narrow gate that opens to the soul, a presence came. He knew it not until the presence spoke.
Fear not, for I am he who sits behind the veil.
The presence spoke to him as one who knew his thoughts as well as words, both old and new, who, though he drew the truth from heights supernal, employed but simple speech, kind and fraternal.
Thy voice has reached my ear, I hear thy cry, and though my brightness days thy mortal eye, yet here I am, and I will give thee aid. Rest thou in peace, and do not be afraid.
I cannot rest. I can find no peace. I'm a pawn of fate, a mere caprice.
Yet even now a master waits your word, a power within by which your voice is stirred. Be patient then. I come with this design. To wake thy master self, the power is thine. In you the substance of a greater man. In you the purpose of a cosmic plan. In you the vision of a central flame, the voice of truth that calls you by your name.
I know you not. Are you deaf or life?
I come to thee as I to Moses came, unstopped his eyes and showed the holy land. O foolish soul, O child of ignorance, who knows so much and knowing does not know that to know too much is not to know at all. The vessel too full to hold the waters drawn from deeper wells cannot contain the draughts more newly drawn. For how can wisdom gain from knowledge if knowledge be of that which is untrue? 1,000 falsehoods never make a fact. Turn then from thy half-truths, thy mortal mind, and go with me, nay, not to distant stars. The way of truth is never out, but in.
You speak in riddles, for I know no way by which to learn unless I first do see, and hear, and taste, and touch. Can wisdom rise from source other than these?
Why dost thou doubt? Have I not plainly said, I come to you as I to others came? For I would point a way to truth for you. It lies not out, but in.
Then I will yield myself, celestial one, for I do feel thou art that light I seek. I know not whence such thoughts should come to me, save it be true, as though perhaps my soul perceives both light and source of light as one. Oh, angel of celestial light, I have great need. I have great need.
The need of man is ever met. It lies within. When God made man, he made him well. He did not fumble with the clay, and having made the lamp, prepared for it a reservoir drawn from the infinite supply. Celestial oil forever flows. Have then fresh hope, and with your hope have faith, for faith is inner knowing, assurance deep that you have filled your lamp, and so the light must shine when you light the wick. Or you may think of faith in terms of seed. Know this, that seed and harvest are the same. Seed does not weep in fear lest it shall bear no fruit when harvest comes. The sower in the spring fares forth without a fear, and every path bears witness to its end. The goal is sure.
Then shall my heart cry out with joy. I do not care how long the road, how insecure, if thou, O presence, walk the way with me.
When you walk through a storm, hold your head up high, and don't be afraid of the dark. At the end of the storm is a golden sky, and the sweet silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind, walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed and blown. Walk on, with hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk alone.
not designed for gloom or dread despair. Creator God did not ordain a sphere of pain and sorrow. He made the world. He who made the world had also wisdom to make plain the way the stream of life would take, how to give form to beings put upon this earth that they might live in joy and peace and happiness.
Why then is poverty upon the earth? Why do dwellers of this blessed land, like me, live on in wretchedness and pain? Make clear to me why men do fail to act, to enter and possess. My hands are wet with my own blood in beating on the brazen doors of silence. There is no answer, and I hear alone the faint echo of my own broken cry. Oh, what art thou, O God, and what am I? I'm empty now, so empty.
You have lamented well. But to what end? Your very eloquence does spite your heart. How often men become bemused by their own speech, denying what they would believe, believing what they falsely affirmed. Did you perhaps confuse yourself and stop the inner ear?
I do not know. I do not know.
Perhaps the gods could not make speech to you because you would not hear. There are so many gods whom man has made in his own likeness, who, when they reply, do have the emptiness of their creator. For lesser gods belong to lesser minds, and lesser gods to lesser minds appear. But all true gods to one true God belong.
But that I have believed. If there be God, there is but one. How could I conceive a lesser God?
You make a god of everything. You do give it power to rule your life.
I do not understand. How do I give power to things or men or gods who then do rule my life?
This is the law. Look to the uncaused cause, for where causation is, there is your God. Find cause alone within, yea, find that one true cause within, whose center is everywhere, is found not to circumscribe. For heaven comes, from heaven comes no special gift to favored souls, but it opens wide its gates, and from its windows pours a bounty great beyond the mind of man to comprehend.
Such bounty failed to fall on me.
To each is given all, but he can take that only which he sees and does accept.
I am condemned by fate.
Your God does not condemn. And fate itself is but a name for consequence. The weak and slothful seek to shift the blame to fate or God or any source without. What you create can be dissolved. If you are cause, you are also the remedy. Take heart in this, for though the human sense is blind and lives in its own darkness, there is a way.
Then I'm not condemned.
The higher power does not condemn, nor does it pass some judgment dire upon the sons of men. There is one law, that as we sow, we reap. No more, no less.
I understand you not. And why rejoice if it be true that I am cause? Would pain be less?
There is a reason why the higher powers refrained from fashioning the world and man in such design that he would be incapable of pain or grief or suffering. He must be free to choose and so become himself a God, but only by his will. Then seek no more, lo here, lo there. You shall not find truth anywhere, the long, the quest, or wide, or high, until with opened inner eye your searching soul shall find revealed the secret which the gods concealed. Look thou within, O soul, and see the God enveloped in the me.
Almost thou persuades me by thy sweet words. I do feel so closely drawn to thee.
The ground on which you stand is holy ground. You walk within the garden now, and you shall eat the fruit that satisfies your hungry heart. This is the first slow step in your enlightenment.
O friend who reads the mind of God, tell me from whence yourself have come, what part you share within the universal.
I do not stand, my friend, unmoved by your desire. But even gods cannot be heard by ears untuned to higher speech. For those who hear not, save sound as from a foreign tongue, until the soul is tuned to inner speech. Wait, work, believe, and when the hour has struck, true wisdom shall appear, and you shall know that which I am, and whence both you and I have come, and whither we are bound.
How great thou art, O voice! How great thou art! I hear thy speech, at least within my heart. I have no doubt of thee. Thy words contain the song of songs. Yet still I have to gain such understanding as to pierce the veil of unreality, and without fail to rend the tissue of pretense that binds me to the human sense, and know the truth that will unwind the shroud of death from anguished mind.
Within yourself, the undiscovered truth lies hid. In you, the very goal you seek. And though your quest should lead through lands afar, you will return and find truth where you are. Begin with this. There is within the self a quality of being absolute. You are with it identified. And if you are, and if the absolute is all, then you are one with all. In this, there lies the mystery of being.
It's like the air around me. It's like the sunlight on my face. I feel the love of God surround me, and I am touched by amazing grace. And all I ever wanted, and all I ever needed was already there. Closer than the sunlight, nearer than the air. I breathe in, and I am filled with the Spirit. It is health to my body, it is peace to my mind, it is joy, joy to my soul. And I thank you. And my breath becomes a song that is singing all along, that is singing everywhere. It's nearer than the air.
You may say, I am, thou art, God is, but that does not define the causeless cause, nor can it be defined, for to define it is but to limit it, and to be limited is not to be the absolute. It is at once the known and the unknowable. But let it rest. The finite has no need to comprehend the infinite. It is enough to know the absolute exists as source of all.
Outside this one and only, then, is naught.
Since life is one, there's nothing to exclude. All things that move must move within the whole. And though he seems to travel far from home, each must return to that from which he came. All things refer to one. This is the key which unlocks or locks every mystery. Conceive of one as substance and as law, which is to mind a willing servitor. There is one law of being everywhere, in earth and sky and ocean and in air. One law of light, one law of heat and power, one principle that holds from hour to hour the galaxies that throng through outer space and keeps Earth's spinning satellites in place. Oh, how slow is man to recognize that he himself is cause and cure of ills. To see that law responds to him and pours out treasure in equal parts, exactly to the measure of his demands. A faith without pretense, and he can cure himself of accidents or evil. United with the one can prove there is no wall or barrier to love. No master dies but by his will, and free to live and die survives eternally. The heart can understand and lead the mind into the Holy Land. This truth doth hold in life and death the same, that he who seeks with an unfailing aim shall reach the goal of wisdom for today, and at the hour when he shall put away this mortal world, his new-built soul shall be so filled with memories of the self that he shall wake beyond, still conscious of the me. Be thou, O farer, wisest of the wise, and seek to live on earth in paradise.
Yet even as the pressures of his doubt were siphoned off, new doubts arose. On his face, more eloquent than words, appeared the age-old suffering, the mask of tragic unbelief.
How sick I am with sorrow. Oh, how slow to understand the very things I know. Give me a mind to understand and to see the secret behind the mystery.
A law of order and a flame of love must blend themselves to make the perfect whole, which neither doubt nor reason can disprove. This is the mystic marriage, law and love, forever wed, inseparable, and one.
Faith does accept, but reason puts to rout, and I'm caught between them. If in the end man's destiny is sure, Could not the powers that hold his fate in hand have mixed the clay with more celestial stuff so that the bowl would hold more of laughter's joy and less of sorrow's grief and suffering? What then is the greater good?
The answer to your question, then, is here. The greater good lies in the power to choose the good. Neither God nor gods designed the course or plan for any soul, nor good nor ill for him. The embryonic stuff of all that was to be lay slumbering within the cosmic mind. The powers did not decree the course of evolution, but conceived unfoldment of inherent powers until there should appear a living soul with power of choice, to give or to withhold the passion of his love.
The farer's face was beautiful with joy, as though the finger of an avatar had touched his lips. Nor did he know that he himself had passed beyond the present hour and had, a moment, seen the things to come.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when it seems I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I can hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love. There is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets me free. There is only love.
Rise up with prayer and calmly face the day. With peaceful mien and greet in cheerful way everyone you meet, for he is part of you. Act unto him as you would have him do, and if he fails, let no offense be given. Affirm the healing words, I am in heaven. The greatest gift is love. For you can give, not asking in return. Who gives himself in love has given more than he who leaves at every door the food the hungry can devour, which fills the need but for the hour. While love shall guide until the shelf, until it's loaded by the man himself.
How hopeless is my fate. I've not reached a plane of love as impersonal as this. I fiercely crave a love that gives me all. Can I return that which has not been given? How often I've flung my prayers upon the empty void and hoped for love. What better prayer than prayer to fill my need?
Your prayer is seed, which is strewn upon the soil of all creative mind, which must grow for you a harvest like the seed. If then your prayer affirms your doubt, declares your lack of faith, and loudly claims there is no love, why then your prayers will justify your faith in nothing. From nothing, nothing comes.
I realize that I have worshiped unbelief, allowed belief to die. My faith was faith in doubt. My dreams were dreams of fear. Belief in unbelief had brought my failure here. What can I do to grow more faith and find some way to soothe my anguished mind?
No better way can be that you share what faith you have with those who need such care and have still little less of hope and faith. Though dim your torch, it still may light the lamp of him who has greater need, and from your faint belief, his soul may flare into a saint. The grace with which you act, the love displayed will raise men's faith in love, and by such aid they will be healed. So seeing others healed, your grain of faith becomes a harvest field, and you shall reap what you yourself have sown, a greater faith which then becomes your own.
Let me be a candle, let me be a radiant star, let me be a beacon, shining who you are. Let me be the miracle I've been dreaming of. Let me be a lantern of your love. Shine through me, shine through me. Let the light within me help this troubled world to see. Shine through me, shine through me. Use this willing vessel, Holy Spirit, shine through me.
Your words are life. Your love has lifted me to mountain peaks of hope, and I can see beyond the small horizon of today. And what I cannot see, I now can feel. This is the wine of life to me, the blood of consecrated love. And it is bread which I shall eat, that I may satisfy my hungry soul. And I, who dwelt in want, shall throw my begging bowl away and cry to every loving soul, there is enough and more for all, and gifts of hope and faith I freely give to you. Take, eat, and so be satisfied.
Well spoken! Who imparts his little wisdom grows thereby still more.
But more than all, I yearn to lift my voice in prayer to God. Teach me what I should say to help myself and others on the way.
True prayer is not petition, but perception, oft clothed in affirmation and rejection. With all your mind and all your faith intense, reject the evidence of outer sense. One good affirmed will drive 10 evils out. One man with God will put all hell to rout. There is only one way, the final goal which meets the needs of body and soul. That man find the cosmic source and center within himself, but deeper than his mind, and learn to pray the prayer of recognition that finds the truth behind the superstition.
How then shall I pray?
Prayer is a conscious union of the soul with God.
The power of prayer. Stand beside me, knowing the truth, and it is healing me.
A recognition that the whole is wholly present in the seeming part.
The power of prayer, the path to freedom. The light of the Spirit is revealing me.
Around, above, below, within the heart, he who would know must first be still and listen for the voice.
Pray for me. I will pray for you. Together we will be greater than we knew.
He must become the placid pool which will reflect the beauty from above.
Pray for me. I will pray for you. Together we will be greater than we knew.
I'm suffused with light and blinded by the glory of thy words, and I shall speak for thee as best I can to appease the hunger of those souls whose simple hearts ask only that they may find hope and faith and safe companionship along life's road. Wilt thou not then give words for me to speak of heavenly things and the glories there?
Speak first of love, for love can never die. The real is never seen. The cause, the source, the true, the higher desires, the good, the love that purifies cannot be touched nor seen by these two human eyes. The faith by which men live, the cause for which they die, the vision of the saint escapes the mortal eye. Man lives his span and goes, nor ever dreams that he lived only in the shade of unreality. He thinks the changing forms of shadows on the wall are real, and stoutly claims that what he sees is all. Yet just beyond his sight and just beyond his eyes are minarets and towers of unseen paradise. There is the light of lights and truth full blown. There is reality and wisdom on the throne. Judge not the world by sight, nor what appears is true. Your world is thoughts in form. The only real is you.
A glowing glory filled the farer's heart, and he improvised a song of adoration.
O God, fulfill in me thy dream and mold me to thy perfect plan. Make me a mirror of thy thought, thyself incarnate as a man. Here in this world, ringed round with doubt, with ever-changing form and face, may I become what thou art and be thy conscious dwelling place. Let me put boldly forth thy dream, thy high design since time began, that
man ascend to be a God, and God descend to be a man.
The farer was alone, with eyes upraised, at first in glory, and then with pain bedazed. From deep within he heard that tolling bell, and knew at once. Alas, he knew too well. The presence, too, had faded from his sight, though still he felt a stirring in the astral light. Long, long the silent presence lingered near. None but the keenest sense could see or hear that he was there. He strangely seemed to merge into the farer's form and face, his demiurge.
Be not afraid, my friend. I have not left you. This is not the end. But it is time for you to find that he is not alone who dwells in unity with God, abiding always in the me, nor think the human self and soul are two, or that two voices speak, for both are you.
I do not comprehend this wonder, nor heart nor head consents that you yourself depart.
It is not expedient that I stay, lest you should turn from your own self away and think causation arises from without and not within. Such concept put to rout. When first the soul becomes self-aware, he thinks another self, another mind is there. He has no scale, no law, no abacus with which to measure the rapturous. But when a voice is heard, believes some power above himself, beyond the present hour, has come to visit him, some being from afar, some astral form, some spirit from a star. So thou, whose vision glimpsed eternal me, ascribed the inner voice to outer deity. If now that voice seems faint and far and dim, it is because thyself embodies him.
One does not stand alone who stands with love. For love is God, and God is all. This truth, above all others, must remain.
Thy God is one, and heaven thy habitat.
All shall be well with thee, for thou art that. At last, I see.
The hour had struck. He must assume the role of one who knows no master but his soul, admitting now what he had long suspected, but which before he had in fear rejected. The presence was himself.
Amen, hallelujah. I hear the dream. Amen, hallelujah. I see the gleam. stand by you. Amen, hallelujah. I'll see you through the joy and the sorrow, into the light shining on you. You're doing all right. Amen, hallelujah. We live in love. Amen, hallelujah. Below and above. Amen, hallelujah. God is right here. Amen, hallelujah. Amen, hallelujah. Amen, hallelujah. Amen, hallelujah.
Thank you to
Bravo.
Joe and Shannon, Oscar and Lainey and Scott. Thank you so much. Thank you. Truly, truly a joy. Thank you so much.